Good day, gentlemen, and welcome to another Manston Air tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about how to use the reinstall Manston tool for PMDG Aircraft. I had a couple of questions about this, certainly in regards to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and how it's working with the new PMDG series aircraft in the new Flight Simulator. I haven't yet updated the README file for this, so this video serves as a walkthrough guide of how it's working, and it is working quite well actually, all things considered. So what you'll do is you'll go into the website and you'll download the reinstall Manston for PMDG Aircraft. It's on your portal, and you go to downloads, other downloads, and it's on the list there. So what we'll do first is just unzip the file that you'll have. So that brings it into reinstall Manston for PMDG. We go into this folder, and today I'm going to be showing the automatic installation. The manual installation is still possible, but a lot of people are getting stuck with the automatic installation, and there are a couple of gotchas which are worth pointing out. So we go into the automatic installation. There's a README. We're not going to use that today because I am the README. Simroot, well, this is designed for P3D, so we can kind of disregard it and go into the Simroot folder, the PMDG folder. Now these are the files that we actually want. So what I would do is copy these three files. Now you're going to go and find your community folder. Now that might be different depending on which installation of Microsoft Flight Simulator you have. You can actually make your own community folder and have your files pointed there. You can also have a setup where you have files in different locations that actually symbolic folders, I think they call them. So your files can be on different drives, and they can all be sort of linked to your community folder, but that's by the by. All you need to know is where is your community folder, and again that depends on whether you have the Microsoft Store version of Microsoft Flight Simulator or indeed the Steam version of Microsoft Flight Simulator. But this is of course the folder that is all important for Microsoft Flight Simulator because it's basically where all your add-ons go. So you find yourself your community folder, and I would very highly recommend creating your own shortcut to the community folder. So here I've made one, and for me it's quite easy. It's on my D drive and then Microsoft Flight Simulator Community, and you'll find all your add-ons here. Now, right now, it's quite an exciting time, but the first two PMDG aircraft have been released. So you've got the 737-700 and the 737-600. Now, the first gotcha here is that in all their wisdom, PMDG have basically made a separate Nav Data for each individual derivative of the 737. So this process needs to be done for both the 737-700 and the 737-600. So we'll start with the 737-700, and the same process applies for the 600. So you go into PMDG Aircraft 737 and just be careful. There's another folder, PMDG Aircraft 737 liveries. It's the one without the liveries. And then you go into the config folder. Now this is the folder where you're going to paste those three files. So I'm just going to go right click, paste, and if it prompts you to replace any files, just click replace. This is only, in this case, is just the Manston file within the SID stars folder. So we're just going to click replace. That's step one, okay? Now you're going to find these two executable files here. The program that we're going to run is called AddManston PMDG, and this Manston adder program is the program. It's a dependency. So AddManston uses Manston adder to add Manston, if that makes any sense. So the next gotcha is that you have to run AddManston, or you should run AddManston as administrator. Because especially if your Microsoft Flight Simulator installation is within a protected file or folder, such as your program files, this program will not have the administrative rights to edit files within. So it needs to be run as administrator. That's the only gotcha here. So I would right click, run as administrator, and then it's going to run its process here. Now, it's like some of it's off screen, but basically it's going to edit the applicable files within there, and then it's going to say, thank you for using it. You will now be given the opportunity to add this program to your shortcuts, the desktop and start menu. I personally would actually recommend that because you're going to need to do it every month. However, having said that, now you've got multiple derivatives, so you're going to have to go into both folders anyway and do them individually. So you click any key, and then the next menu, which I'll just bring onto screen here, you've got 4 options here. To close the program, no shortcut will be added. Add a shortcut to your desktop, add a shortcut to start menu, or both the desktop and the start menu. In this instance, I'm just going to go for number 1 and close it. Now, if you actually go into your Nav Data folder, you'll find that the current time, according to my laptop, is well, today's date is the 12th, and you've got these files here, 1932. See, these have just been updated. So that is a good sign that the program has worked and edited those files. So what we're going to have to do, of course, is go back to the community folder and do exactly the same for the 737-600, which means going to the 737-600 folder, config, paste, in this case, the program I'd already installed. You only need to do this step once, and then right click, run as administrator, and it will go through the process again. Any key, 1, and it closes the program. Now, this does need to be done every time you update your AirAC Nav data. So that's about once a month. And the reason for that is because, of course, these Nav data files get overwritten every month as the new all the new airways and waypoints and airways and waypoints are brought out with the new Nav data, and so the files get overwritten, and then you just need to go back in and overwrite them again, and it will not actually changing anything except adding in Manston. It doesn't ruin anything. For example, I'll just give you a quick look at what this does, just for the purposes of some background information. This is your Nav Fix page. If I go to the bottom of the file, it says, in fact, what I'll just do is just scroll down the side to the very bottom. Okay. All these waypoints at the very bottom have been added by the AddManston software. So you've got all these Dover waypoints, which is, of course, the Dover arc. So that last waypoint would have been no pole, which is actually in the North Pole. And then it basically, what the program does is it finds the North Pole, which is at the end of the file usually, and then says, after this point, add all these points. And it does that quite well. So that's all you need to do. So just as a recap, number 1, find the community folder. Number 2, go into PMDG Aircraft, whatever the aircraft is, then config, paste the files. Number 3, you're going to have to do it for each derivative. Number 4, you're going to have to run it as administrator. And number 5, you're going to have to do it every time that you update your AirAC. So thank you very much for listening. That's it for now. But I hope it clears up some of the confusion. The program sometimes isn't working, but I think most people are running into issues either because they haven't installed it in the right location, or because they've not run it as administrator. All the best, guys. Happy flying.